What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight! Okay, we're coming back to Epica. Yes, indeed. Epica Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. This is a request from Addy7, Alexander Kolesnikov, and Insolent Umbrella. And this is actually one of Insolent Umbrella's 3 prioritized requests for the month of October for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So here you go, Insolent Umbrella. Hope you enjoyed the show. They all want to see me react to this song by Epica called Design Your Universe. Now, have I heard the song before? I don't think so. I don't believe I've heard the song before. This does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a chance I may have heard the song in the past and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, oh, I've heard this before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Now, this was posted by Firestream, and the video itself has 34,628 views. It'll get you there. Just to let you all know, this is a full concert. This entire video is one big long concert. So I was given the proper timestamps. I was given a start time and an end time. So we're gonna go off those times that were provided. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Epica, Retrospect 10th Anniversary 2013. Full show Part 2. So this is Part 2. I don't know where Part 1 is. But yeah, as you can see, we're starting at the proper start time, 51:40. I'm supposed to go to 101:37, so we'll see how this goes. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Yeah, you want some more? Sure? All right. The next one is about realizing your dreams, creating your own universe. Because that's what we can do. Let wishes come true. This is Design Your Universe.
Pause real quick. Okay, that entire intro, very, very well constructed. Starting out with dual acoustic guitars, that's it. They just started with purely dual acoustic guitars. Then they added a couple of wind instruments from the orchestra. Then the keyboards kicked in. Then more instruments from the orchestra came in. And everything just kept growing and growing and growing and kept coming up and up and up. And it kept, more importantly, the crescendo was steady. It just constantly grew in volume and in layers. Very, very intelligently constructed intro. I really can appreciate from the acoustic guitars. I don't know which one. I think it was the guitarist on stage left doing the harmonics, letting the harmonics ring. Very smart and tasteful use of harmonics. Let's keep going. Let's see how this continues to go here.
We're blind and eager, our rest will set us back to blank. Doors to wager, all we'll have to name a reason if you can't let go. You will end up empty-handed if you can't control. You live your life and
Decide about what time to come. Who is safe from them? Right now, the circle of life and death. Don't look back, they will trend the right to pass. Take the chance, decide your own path.
Okay. Let's talk about our, now here's some controversy here. I've heard different stories from different people. I've heard some people say that she is the lead vocalist, and I've heard other people tell me that the guitar player on stage right is actually the lead vocalist. So I don't know which way to go with her as far as her position and her stature within the band. I don't know if she's lead. I don't know if she's supporting. In a song like this, it sounds like she's lead. She's the one singing the verses. She's the one singing most of the lyrics so far. I mean, don't get me wrong, guitarist on stage right is doing vocal work, in particular during the chorus. No, actually, it wouldn't be the chorus. It would have been the pre-chorus. I'm sorry. My apologies. So, I'm tending to believe that she is the lead in this. That would be my guess. If I were to label her anything, I would call her the lead in this song. Now, that may not be the case for every song, but I don't care about every song. I care about this song right now. So, keep that in mind. She's doing outstanding work vocally. Obviously, I've said this before about her in previous videos. She has a definite, classically trained operatic voice. She knows how to drop the jaw. She knows how to open the throat. She knows how to support and get that thick sound out of her voice without making it sound dirty or muddy. She's able to get a thick vocal attack. She's able to get a thick vocal supported, sustained voice. But at the same time, when she does go up in the upper register, and if she wants to thin it out, she can. I've already heard her hit several notes that are the exact same note done with different tones. Sometimes it's thick, sometimes it's thinned out. It's not an issue of strain to hit the note because she's hitting the note with the thick voice and the thin voice just in two separate instances. So it's preference. It's about getting the right tone for the right part. And she's doing a fine job of it. I do like the contrast in styles. I've said this before about vocalists who use a lot of grit, gravel, growl style. I got no issue with it at all, as long as it is tempered with melodic voicings at the same time. You know, either alternating, simultaneously, I don't care, as long as it's tempered. This is definitely tempered. It's actually more melodic than a grit and growl, so I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. So far, so good. I'm enjoying this. Let's keep going, and let's see where this goes. So she's singing along.
To take for taking, safely the path of loss and strain, and then lose breaking. Faith can warrant
Great use of piccolo there.
let go. You will end up empty-handed if you can't control your life and
Decide. I'm not one through a fall. Who is able to? Some drown the treasures from the flow.
Okay, there is a choir back there. Okay. Alright.
Decide your universe.
They're like each vocal independently.
the time has come. We have to see the
More of a rock style vocalization now. Interaction with band members, good. Okay, pause. I wasn't sure what was happening in the chorus with the supporting voices at first. On the first chorus, I wasn't sure what was going on. I heard her, but I also heard a bunch of other voices, and I was thinking to myself, okay, so she's using vocal track. You know, she's using, backing vocal tracks. Nothing wrong with that. It's fine. I've never, listen, I want to be very clear about this. My stance on using backing tracks. I know a lot of people are kind of confused about my stance on this because apparently I haven't made myself very clear. So I'm hoping what I'm going to say here makes me very clear and there's no more questioning about it. I have zero issue with bands using vocal track. I got no issue at all with that. We use it ourselves, so I got no issue with using backing tracks of any kind, whether it be instrumentation or vocal tracks. I got no issue with it. What I do have the issue with is when people use the vocal tracks. They put people on mics. Those people are not singing, they're lip syncing, but they're using vocal tracks, they're lip syncing, and then they have the audacity to sit there and say, oh, we don't use vocal tracks. That's what upsets me. That's what pisses me off. If bands use vocal tracks or instrumentation tracks, God bless them. More power to them. They know how to get a good, thick, full, rich sound. And they do it with vocal tracks. I got no issue as long as they're playing live. What I have the issue with is when people jump up on the mics and pretend to sing. even though they're not really singing. Their mics aren't connected. Their mics aren't on. You can tell it's track. You can totally tell because you hear like 5 voices, but there's only 2 or 3 people on the mics. That's when I have the issue. That's when I have the problem. So I was seeing her by herself. Nobody else was on a mic, and I heard vocal tracks. Okay, fine. That's perfectly fine. They're not faking it. They're not pretending. So I got no issue with that whatsoever. God bless them for using vocal tracks. And God bless her for being able to sing perfectly in pitch with track, because that is hard. Because those vocal tracks, they're not going to mess up. They're not going to be sharp. They're not going to be flat. They're going to be spot on every time. So if anybody's out, it's her. It's the lead vocalist. But she wasn't. Everything was perfectly in tune. Then on the second chorus, we got a couple of great camera shots of an actual choir back there, a choral group. So that answered my question as to whether she was singing a track or not. No, clearly she's not. They clearly do have a full choir back there, and they're all singing. I also couldn't help but notice that the entire choir are all independently mic'd with headset mics. Dear Lord, you talk about an engineer's worst nightmare. Having to mix all those different mics and level them out properly to get a good blend. I can't even imagine how long soundcheck took for this. I mean, soundcheck must have been at least 2 hours. At least 2 hours. Probably closer to 3. It really depends on how good everybody is and how quick they are to mix and how good the engineer is. But, okay, so they answered my question. She's singing with a choir, and that sounded really good. I like the usage of the... in the breakdown there in that second verse, I really like the entrance of the French horns that came in to kind of give it that warm, ba-ba-ba sound. That was really nice. The use of piccolo was really interesting too. Very sparse, just on that second line. That's all that was used on. But effective, very effective. Let's keep going for now. I got more, but let's keep going for right now.
Many people to harm themselves, but life can be so beautiful. So many people to idolize, while their own success is in the reach. Don't forget you're able to design your own
I was going to say, wait a minute, that can't be the end of the song because I was told to end at 101:37. We still got like another 2 minutes. Don't tell me you have 2 minutes of dark stage. Dear Lord. Okay, no, they just took a little breather there, a little break just to kind of draw the crowd in. Very smart, good stage presence, way to suck in the crowd. Draw them into that false sense of, oh, is it over? Is it over? I don't know. Is it over? I don't know. And then, pow, they come in. Speaking of stage presence, everybody on stage is doing okay. I'm not mad. I'm not thrilled, but I'm not mad. Everybody's doing, like, I don't know if I would go as far as to say the bare minimum, but they kind of are. Like, okay, so I've seen the bass player interact with the guitar player on stage right a couple times. I've seen the guitar player on stage left come up to the front of the stage, put his foot up on the ego block, look into the crowd. That's cool. I've seen the lead vocalist, or I hope she's the lead vocalist. I've seen her come up to the front of the stage, headbanging a little bit, you know, kind of swaying her hair around, make her hair go around, and, you know, that's cool and all. They're doing something, is my point. They're not just standing there like a bunch of trees, like other bands I have seen.
Wow, man, freaked out!
Looking right at you, Queens of the Stone Age.
What's the matter with you?
I don't know if, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm ever going to let that go. That was one of the worst live performances I've ever seen. That might actually be worse than Dream Theater, if I'm being honest. No, but everybody here is doing something. Now, could they do more? Yes. I believe wholeheartedly they could do more. There are parts where she's not singing. The guitar player on stage left is doing the singing. And that's when she comes up and kind of sways her hair around from side to side. And that looks good. But how about looking into the crowd, porting into the crowd, engaging with the crowd? You're the lead singer, right? You should be doing some of that. You know, don't just leave that to guitar players and bass player. You know, you're the lead vocalist, supposedly, allegedly. You have to act the part. You got to be willing to engage with the crowd and make those connections with those people in the crowd. That's what's going to make the performance special to them. It's going to make it memorable. If you do that, I'm telling you, as a performer, if you make that connection with that person in the crowd, you will have impacted that person for the rest of their life. They will never forget that moment, ever. I promise you. And most importantly, there's the opportunity for you to have the kind of impact on their life that may change their life for the better. You know, that's possible. So always take those opportunities whenever you can to engage with the crowd. You might turn someone's life around. You just might. I could tell you stories about letters we've gotten from fans, but I'm not going to bore you with those because, honestly, I know you guys don't care. So, but I mean, I could tell you stories about letters we have gotten from fans saying those exact same things. So, anyway, let's keep going for right now. That bass drummer, man, that concert drummer right there, I love him. Boom! When he brings his hand up, I love it. That's showmanship. There we go. Okay, there we go. Leading the crowd. Good. Good.
Thank you so much. We love you guys.
Nice. Ooh. Wait. No. We gotta go back for that. No, listen. Hey, I don't care. Listen, it's my show. If I want to go back, we're gonna go back. That was a sick drum fill. Really nice. Not so much from a showy aspect of, you know, doing something super complicated, but how tight it was. It was super tight. I want to hear that again. Nice.
Come to
Awesome. Great ending. Great ending. Okay, I was supposed to end there. I went a second over. Oops. Oh, well. That was a fantastic ending. That's perfect ending because they're going to come out and do an encore. You wouldn't want to actually end the entire concert like that. You don't want to end on a somber note like that. You want to end with something epic, but doing that to end, leave the stage, come back a minute or two later to do your encores. Yeah, smart. Very, very smart. I've pretty much said everything I need to say. We'll go over everything very briefly in the review. I'll see you there. Well, there you go, folks. That was Epica with Design Your Universe. This was a request from 87, Alexander Kalesnikov, and Insolent Umbrella. And this was one of Insolent Umbrella's 3 prioritized requests for the month of October for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go. Guys, hope you enjoyed the show. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.8. Yep, 8.8. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Out of the 3 songs I've heard from Epica so far, I think this is the 3rd one I've heard from them. I think I can honestly say this has been my favorite one. I think it's the most well-constructed song from a arrangement standpoint and from a chordal structure standpoint. I think this song really did kind of have it all. It had a great introduction that grew and grew and grew and crescendoed and built on the layers. It hit the apex, and then it kept that apex up all the way through the first chorus. Second verse came down, came right back up again into the pre-chorus, stayed up pretty much the whole time, laid out, completely laid out where everybody stopped playing for a few seconds, and then it came in with a bang, finished strong, and most of all, most importantly, the way they ended, coming back down with that decrescendo to the point where it was literally just piano and vocals. Very well done, very well constructed, very effective. And like I said, for a live performance, I would not make this the very last song of a concert. Now, if you do it as the final song of the concert before you leave and then come back a minute later to do your encores, that's perfect. And I think they did a perfect job of putting this song in the right place. I cannot tell you how important song placement is within a live show context. I love these bands that just go out there and go, oh, we're just going to play all of our songs, we're going to play all, we're going to take, these 13 songs, we're just going to play them in whatever order we feel like playing them in, and just put them in some random order. It doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter. It matters a lot. You want to construct your set list to flow and make sense and hit those apex points, because you got to know when to hit them with the big hits. You don't want to put all your big hits at the beginning and have nothing but filler at the end. On the flip side, you don't want to have nothing but filler at the beginning and have all your big hits at the end either. Although between the two, if you had to do one of the two, I would go with the second one and have all your big hits at the end. That way you end on a bang. But you want to know where to intersperse your hits and where to intersperse your powerful songs and where to put the filler songs, and the solos, if you guys have solos. Like if you have your drummer do a drum solo, where are you going to put it? You got to know where to put these things, because if you don't, your song's flow is not going to make sense. It's going to be very jerky and very stop and start and lurchy, and you don't want that, man. You want your concert to go smoothly. So they did a fine job putting this song as the final song of the concert. This is our last song of the set, quote unquote. But then y'all make a bunch of noise, and then we come back out and we do 2 or 3 more songs. So, that makes perfect sense. Really good job. As far as the instrumentation goes, I already talked about pretty much everything I want to talk about. The acoustic guitars, really nice starting out. I love those harmonics. The way that they built the layers up using the orchestra, the keyboard coming in, and then they hit it. Great guitar tone from all the guitars. Bass, I could not honestly really hear all that well, unfortunately. There were a couple of places where he did kind of cut through. In particular, I think it was the second verse. It was the first verse or second verse where it was literally drums, bass, and the vocalist. I heard him there, but whenever the rest of the band kicked in, he did get kind of buried, and that kind of sucked. But I mean, other than that, it is what it is. Bass players, we always get buried, so I'm used to it, unfortunately. Keyboard, I'll be honest with you, I feel like the keyboard was a little unnecessary, considering they had a full orchestra back there filling out the sound. But nonetheless, he was there, contributing, good for him. Drummer did a fine job, really fine job, very tight playing. In particular, that fill towards the end that I had to go back and listen to again. That was a sweet fill. Not so much from a standpoint of complexity, but from a standpoint of tightness. I mean, that was a super long, tight fill. Now, I'm not knocking the length of the fill by any stretch. I believe that was necessary, absolutely. A short fill there would not have done the end of this epic song justice. It needed a long fill, and he did. He delivered, but he kept it tight. Really tight fill, and I loved hearing that, and I did not mind going back and listening to it again. I don't care what those pigs say.
You what?
The use of the choir, I'm really glad. They didn't just use a live choir, they had a live orchestra. If you guys can afford it, if you guys can afford to pay for a live orchestra and for a live choir, do it. There's just something about having it versus using track. I mean, look, like I said, I got no issue with bands using tracks. If it gives it the fuller sound, by all means do it. But if you can afford, and you have it within the budget, to use a live orchestra and or a live choir, please do it, because it makes a world of difference when it's live. It does. They could be playing the exact same thing, but to have a live orchestra, it just sounds, I don't know, I can't explain it. It just sounds warmer. It sounds more natural. It sounds more genuine. And it does, man. Having the live orchestra and the live choir up on stage, big, big difference, and I appreciate the difference. Vocally, really got nothing to say. I already talked about it earlier. I love the blend between the grit and growl and the pure, natural, operatic, classically trained voice. Very nice dynamic between the two. And they both do an outstanding job. I already talked about techniques and stuff that they do, so I'm not going to talk about it again. Showmanship. Okay. Their score did, honestly, come down a tiny bit. I'm talking about a 0.1 difference, okay? They didn't quite hit the 9s. I do feel like, okay, let me first of all start off by saying their showmanship on this was not bad, okay? It wasn't horrible, it wasn't terrible, it wasn't disgraceful. I did see some showmanship from everybody, okay? Bassist interacting with the guitar player on stage right. I saw the guitar player on stage left come up to the front of the stage, put his foot up on the eagle block, and put out into the crowd while playing. That was good. I did see her come up to the front and sway her hand around, you know, and that was cool. I do feel like they could have done more, especially the lead vocalist. The parts that she wasn't singing, rather than throwing her hair around, I think it would have been more effective if she had looked into the crowd, reached out into the crowd, poured into the crowd, created and established those connections between people in the crowd and her. Because she is the anchor. If she's the lead vocalist, she's the main focus of connection with the crowd. I feel like there were some missed opportunities. I'm not criticizing her for throwing her hair around. That looked cool, don't get me wrong, but I feel like there were some missed opportunities. I liked at the end, everybody getting their hands up. She did it. The guitar players did it, getting their hands up, getting the crowd to do it with them. That was good. That was really good. I wish they had done more of that type of stuff throughout the song when they had those opportunities. And they did have those opportunities, but they didn't take advantage of all of them. They did take advantage of some, okay? So I am giving them credit. All I'm saying is if they had done a little bit more, their score would have come up a little bit more. That's all. Nonetheless, an 8.8 is a really great score. If you're not sure about that, take a look down below in the video description. You will find down there in the description my scoring system chart. It will tell you everything you need to know. Take a look at 8.0 to 8.9. That is the grading scale for great. Now this is getting an 8.8, which is way up there on the grade scale. So this is not a bad score by any stretch. Trust me on that, okay? And the difference between an 8.8 and an 8.9, I mean, there is that 0.1 difference, but let's be honest, is it really that big of a difference? Not really. So an 8.8 is a great score, and that is where we're going to stay. 8.8, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hopefully you'll enjoy the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you did enjoy the show, and you would like to see more videos like this, feel free to join the fan base by clicking on that button down there. Yeah, you know the button I'm talking about. Click on that button, join the fan base, and become one of us. Now, for whatever reason, if you don't feel like clicking on that button, that's okay. I still respect you. Also, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. It'll do me a world of good, and it will do you absolutely no harm whatsoever. Finally, if you guys do join the fan base, you will find a bell down there that you can click on. By clicking on that bell, it'll keep you up to date on everything happening with this channel, including when new content gets dropped. So, if you want to stay in the know, click on the bell, and you'll stay in the know. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Until next time, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.